Hey guys, Tony here, and today we're going to take a look at a product that honestly completely transformed my home cinema, and that is the Lumagen Radiance Pro. Now, you've probably heard a lot about MAD VR or dynamic projector tone mapping, and while those are great, after months of hands-on testing and some amazing insights directly from Lumagen's founder Jim Peterson, I can confidently say that the Radiance Pro is on another level. A quick disclaimer, I bought the Lumagen Radiance Pro 4240 with my own money, so this video is not sponsored at all, but Adrian from Cogworks also loaned me a Radiance Pro 5000 series for this video, which has been great to compare the two units together. So a huge shout out to Cogworks for sending it in for the review, but let's not waste any more time, let's get into it. First, what exactly is the Lumagen Radiance Pro? It's a professional grade video processor, not just a scaler and not just a HDR tone mapper. It's designed to completely take over your video chain, giving you the most accurate reference quality image possible. Lumagen has been building video processors for over 20 years, all designed and manufactured in the USA. They're trusted by some of the biggest names in Hollywood, including John Thompson, who has worked at a number of major studios, including Walt Disney Studios, and who currently handles post-production at a major studio. I think that the takeaway from this is that if you want to see what the director intended, Lumagen is one of the only ways to truly achieve that at home. Now, let's talk about how it actually works. Normally when you play HDR content, your source, whether the Kaleidoscape, a Zidu, or a Blu-ray player or streaming service, sends out an HDR10 signal, sometimes mastered up to 10,000 nits. Your projector or TV has to guess how to tone map that down to its own capabilities. And here's the problem. Every projector does it differently. Some crush blacks, some clip highlights, some distort colors, and no two movies ever look the same. The Lumagen Radiance Pro completely fixes this. It does 4 critical things. It intercepts the raw HDR signal before it hits the display. It dynamically maps that huge brightness down to 100 nits, or your projector's native brightness level, which is optimal for projection. It then applies a gamma 2.4 curve to match the native gamma of your projector, and it then outputs a Rec 2020 at gamma 2.4, so your projector sees a clean, properly tone mapped signal without any HDR metadata. Because it's done in hardware on a custom FPGA, it's incredibly fast, reliable, and immune to all of the headaches that you usually get with PC-based solutions. If you go to the 5000 series model, you even get the ultra-low HDMI jitter on the output, improving not just the video but also your audio performance as well. So why would you want one in your system? First of all, you get superior image quality. The image looks absolutely amazing with the Lumagen in the chain. Even with the JVC NZ900 in HDR, I personally feel that the Lumagen looks better and the image is more vibrant. You get dynamic tone mapping done properly. You get frame-by-frame analysis, not just static metadata, as well as the real-time adjustments mid-scene. The Lumagen Radiance Pro also preserves shadow details, prevents highlight clipping, and keeps skin tones looking natural. It can often also present better value than upgrading your projector. In my conversations with founder Jim Peterson, he often recommends instead of paying $10,000 to $15,000 more for a high-end projector, pair your existing unit with a Radiance Pro and it will outperform the expensive one. So on the 5000 series only, you do get the lower HDMI jitter, which does equal cleaner and more dynamic sound, especially with processors like Trinnov or Storm Audio. I personally don't use the audio out because using my HD Fury VR Room in the chain, and I split it directly out from there to go to the Trinnov, which cancels out any audio resync delays. But if audio fidelity to the extreme is something that you're after, then it is a benefit you'd appreciate. It is also a living product. With Lumagen, you get free major firmware upgrades even years later after launch, like when they added full dynamic tone mapping to older units. There is also a trade-in pathways program with generous trade-in credits when upgrading to new hardware, like with the upcoming Artisan 8K model. That is definitely something I'm interested in, so stay tuned and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that one when it becomes available. You also get rock-solid reliability with no reboots, no crashes, and no random software failures. It's an appliance, not a computer. This is definitely something I can attest to because in my time with the Lumagen, in my setup, it has not crashed even a single time. Now, to known limitations. Yes, there is a brief 3 to 5 second delay when switching formats, but it's a feature to protect the compatibility and the stability, not a flaw. I spoke to Jim about this and he explained that it's to prevent any lockups from occurring. Like I said earlier, you can live with that, or you can do what I do and split the audio out before hitting the Lumagen. Let's quickly cover off the differences between the Radiance Pro models. I'll put the info up on the screen so that you can see the main differences between the 4000 and the 5000 series models, but to summarize, if you want video perfection, 4000 series models are great. If you want the absolute best audio chain as well, the 5000 series are the way to go. Within the series, the 4242 has 4 inputs and 2 outputs. The 4446 has 8 inputs and 4 outputs and is a full rack size. The 5244 has 6 inputs and 2 outputs. The 5348 has 10 inputs and 2 outputs plus audio out. It all depends on just how many sources you need to connect and whether you want to have ultra clean audio output. Now for the real world proof, I captured identical footage twice. Once using the JVC NZ900's built-in tone mapping feature, and once using the Lumagen Radiance Pro mapping HDR to SDR Rec 2020. Things to watch for: smooth highlight roll-off and no clipping or crushed whites, more visible shadow detail, and textures in dark scenes are preserved. You get color accuracy with the skin tones, natural greens, and the blues look more realistic. There's less noise and banding, especially noticeable in the darker and more compressed scenes. Please note that even though YouTube compression blurs some of the differences, you'll still spot critical differences if you look closely. Finally, one of the most important reasons to use a Lumagen is converting HDR to your projector's native 2.4 gamma properly. Here's the reality. HDR was designed for incredibly bright displays between 4000 and 10,000 nits, and projectors just can't do that. They typically max out at 100 to 300 nits, and the other main reason is that internal tone mapping has to guess, and guesswork is messy and can lead to inconsistent results from display to display. The Radiance Pro eliminates that. It takes the HDR content, remaps it to 100 nits or your projector's native brightness, and displays it in the SDR Rec 2020 color space. It outputs the tone map video to the projector's native gamma and feeds your projector a clean, perfectly processed signal every time. The results are consistent performance across movies, no blown highlights, no crushed blacks, just a beautifully calibrated image every single time. Once you experience it, you'll never want to go back. And yep, I sound like a fan, and that is because once I had the Lumagen installed, I was just blown away by how much better the image was. I didn't think it was possible for the NZ900 to look better, but it absolutely does. Hey guys, Future Tony here. There's a couple of features of the Lumagen Radiance Pro that I forgot to mention during the making of this video. The first one is that it definitely does aspect ratio detection, and it can shrink down a 16:9 image into a CinemaScope screen if that's what you'd like to do, or you can do the automatic cropping so that you don't have to have the overshoot of the image above and below the screen. That is a feature that this definitely has. Because I use a 16:9 screen with a masking system, I didn't need to worry about doing that, so I didn't actually test it during the making of this video. However, I did a video recently where I reviewed a Christie projector with the Lumagen, and I was able to demonstrate that in that video, so I will put a card up above to that video if you want to check that one out. There are also upscaling and downscaling features with the Lumagen if you have different format content. So if you have low resolution, it can upscale it as well. The algorithms are pretty cool. I didn't demo that in this video, but I have seen it in action before and it works really well. Anyway guys, if you have any other questions, make sure you drop them down below. If I've missed anything that you'd like me to cover off, drop them down below and I'll be sure to answer them. Anyway, back to the video. And that's the full story on the Lumagen Radiance Pro. Now, before we wrap up, let's quickly touch on pricing because I know a lot of you will be wondering. In the US, pricing for the Lumagen Radiance Pro typically starts around $5,995 for the 4000 series model and goes up to around $9,745 US in the USA for the top 5000 series configurations. In Australia, you're looking at around 10,999 Australian dollars with the starting price, and it goes all the way up to about 19,495 for the fully loaded unit, depending on your configuration. It's definitely a serious investment, but if you're building a true reference grade cinema, it's one of the most impactful upgrades you can make. Massive thank you again to Jim Peterson for his time and support, as well as Adrian from Cogworks for sending me the loaner unit, and of course guys, to you for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this, drop a comment down below, and if you want more deep dive home cinema content, hit that subscribe button and join the community. I do have Patreon and YouTube memberships available if you'd like to support the work that I do here on YouTube. Anyway guys, that's it for this one. You'll catch me in the next one. Bye for now.